Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Halloween. Welcome to the Mayday Network. I'm Michelle Kinney. I'm here with my good friend, Julie Roginski, and we're doing a little dispatch here today to talk about something that everyone's talking about, the whole internet, the whole everybody, um, is the, which, I love this shit. It gives me oxygen, just like the little gossipy part about this, but this actually actually, I think it's more important than just idle gossip. Um, Turning Point USA was founded and run by Charlie Kirk, who was murdered, and his wife was immediately voted in to be the new CEO of Turning Point USA, and she's been taking his place. And so she hosted an event at Ole Miss on the 29th, 2 days ago, with JD Vance. And, I'm just going to play it. We're just going to watch it. Okay.
And I am tremendously blessed and honored tonight to be able to introduce to you a very, very dear friend and his wife. They are incredible. And I see no one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD Vance. I do. And that's why I'm so blessed to be able to introduce him tonight, because he understands the fight that we're up against, and he can articulate that in a way that transcends race, that transcends demographic backgrounds. He's an amazing man. So please help me welcome to the stage Vice President JD Vance.
I am honored to introduce a friend of mine, somebody that I have just been so thrilled to see ascend American politics. His story is uniquely American. Growing up in poverty, difficult circumstances, serving his country honorably and heroically in the United States Marine Corps, being an America First champion in Congress, and somebody who I know will bring this vision to make America great again. Join me in welcoming JD Vance, everybody.
I'm having issues. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Go ahead, Julie.
So I'm going to be in the minority here. I don't think there's anything particularly inappropriate about that hug. I know. I love the minority. I also, P.S., have to disclose that when people are having affairs or otherwise behaving in ways that are secretive, I'm literally the last to figure it out. Like, you could be hooking up in front of me, I'll be like, oh, they seem friendly. So I am like, whatever the opposite of that radar is, I got it. Like, nobody's worse at it than me. So I don't know why I'm naive about it. It's not like I'm a naive human being. But when it comes to this stuff, I'm actually very naive about that stuff. So let me preface by saying that I have other thoughts about this whole situation, however. But before we get to that, why don't you tell me, because I know you disagree with me, you think this whole thing was really inappropriate. So why don't you go ahead?
Well, I think just in the last couple days, Jesus. It's Friday, guys. It's Friday. My brain just not working today.
Right.
And a couple days after Charlie Kirk was murdered in front of all of us, which was clearly and very obviously awful. Just want to preface with that. Terrible. I didn't really know much about her. But then I saw her in the days that followed, and I was like, something ain't right here. And I just kind of flippantly said in conversation among you and me, 4 of us on our group chats, whatever, and I was like, watch her replace Usha. Just the way that everybody was fawning over her, the way they were immediately raising money, the way that she was already ready to kind of take the stage, the way that she was hugging Donald Trump and calling him her very good friend, and everything about it was, I was like, this just something does not seem right. And I will never get over this for as long as I live. I just want to watch her walk out on stage. This is on the at the memorial for her husband, and this is her entering the stage. Today is not my day, guys. Today is not my day. Let's try this again. Why is this doing this?
I don't know.
There we go. Here it comes. Here it comes. Okay. It's the head to the music. It's the head. It was choreographed. If you think for 2 seconds, I just want anybody, these people choreograph and craft every second of this stuff. It is curated because they're always sending a message. Nothing is by accident. These people are not like authentically, doing improv here. The head to the music was like, I was like, oh, okay, that's what this, I see what's going on now. It seemed very obvious to me that something ain't right here. Something ain't right here, Julie.
Well, I'm going to say that. I think something is definitely not right. I don't know.
I don't know what it is, but
I don't know what's going on with her and JD Vance. I actually don't think, maybe, again, who the hell knows? I don't know. Here's what I would say. They obviously looked at videos of, or maybe they just inherently are the heirs to these revival tent meetings.
Yeah, it's very mega church meets
right. And
WWF.
I have to say they are building a sense of community that Democrats don't build. Like if there are any kind of these meetings at, liberal universities or state universities, I mean, this happened at Ole Miss. If there's anything like this at UC Berkeley or UCLA or, UMass Amherst, or pick and choose your Democratic, state, Rutgers University. I'd love to know about it. I'd love to go to one of these. Part of me is incredibly jealous that they have this kind of thing. And I think this is where Democrats, I mean, I saw that and I cared less about whatever might be happening between her and JD Vance than I did about the fact that JD Vance, who is the vice president of the United States, has time to go to Ole Miss down in Oxford, Mississippi, and debate and put on his best Charlie Kirk impersonator hat and debate students at this university and engage in them. And I was thinking, okay, he's obviously not interested in governing because the vice president has better things to do than do that.
He never has been.
But he's never has been. But what he's doing is he is engaging, and politically it's brilliant. And this whole situation is performative.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly she has some sort of affinity for JD Vance. Let's just posit that it's not romantic. I mean, again,
No, I don't think it's romantic. I think it's transactional, and I
maybe it's
think that
transactional, but maybe she wants to be relevant. I don't think she needs JD Vance to be relevant, to be honest. I think it's the heir to
well,
Charlie
he
Kirk.
needs her though. That's the thing.
He needs her because at the same time that this was going on, he gave an interview about his wife, Usha Vance, who is Hindu and who was talked about before being raised in a religious Hindu household by her parents, who came here from Uttar Pradesh in India, and who are incredibly accomplished. I mean, incredibly accomplished professors at UC. I believe it's UC San Diego. I think her dad's an aerospace engineer, professor. Her mom, I think, is a microbiologist. Like, these are people who are brilliant and who raised their daughters, both Usha and her sister, to be brilliant. And Usha went to Yale, and I think she went to Yale Law School. The point is, like, these are very smart people who just so happen to be Hindu. J.D. Vance is raising their 3 children Christian. But then he gives a very weird interview, I thought, to somebody, I forgot who it was, about the fact that he hopes that she, eventually finds her way to Jesus. And effectively saying, like, she will not be saved otherwise. And he loves his wife and he respects his wife and she's got her religion and she's not going to convert. But effectively, like, he doesn't all but say she's going to burn in hell, but, like, by the way, she's going to burn in hell if she doesn't find her way to Jesus. A lot of Christians feel this. In fact, a lot of religions feel this way, period. The whole point of religion is we're the only true source of redemption. Right. So it's not just Christianity.
Here is the thing. So there's a couple things here. Let me just play. There's him talking in an interview, and then he's like on a stage talking about it too. This might have been at the Turning Point thing, actually, that he said it. Hold on.
I feel terrible for my wife because we go to church almost every Sunday unless we're on the road. And
does she go with you? I mean,
she does. Yeah, she does.
Has she converted?
No, she hasn't. No, that's why I feel bad about it. Is she's got 3 kids. Obviously, I help with the kids, but because I'm kind of the one going to church, she feels like more responsibility to keep the kids quiet in the church. And I felt kind of bad, like, oh, you didn't sign up to marry a weekly churchgoer. And are you okay with this? And she was sort of more than okay with it.
Then I'm going to play what he said on stage.
Did not grow up Christian. I think it's fair to say that she grew up in a Hindu family, but not a particularly religious family in either direction. Now, most Sundays, Usha will come with me to church. As I've told her, and I've said publicly, and I'll say now in front of 10,000 of my closest friends, do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way. But if she doesn't, then God says everybody has free will, and so that doesn't cause a problem for me. That's something you work out with your friends, with your family, with the person that you love.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
effectively, God says you have free will. Translation, you're going to burn in hell because you freely chose not to be Christian like me. Can I just say this, Michelle, because I actually am in a mixed marriage. I am Jewish. My husband is Catholic, and I am not particularly religious. My husband goes to church when he can make it on Sundays, every Sunday. And I do go to church with him, and I go to church, and I do not take my son, who's being raised Jewish, but I do go to church on occasion, more than on occasion, with my husband. And I don't do it because he expects me to. I don't do it because he wants me to. I don't do it because he believes that I am going to convert and find my way to Jesus. I think he knows me better than that. And I also think that he would not want me to, because if I haven't been moved by it before I met him, why would I be moved by it now, right? Like, I don't believe in people converting for the sake of their husbands or wives, and he doesn't either. The reason I go to church with my husband is because, quite honestly, it is meaningful to him, and I want to be with him. Not that it's meaningful to him that I come. Church is meaningful to him, and therefore, if it's meaningful to him, I want to be a part of something that is meaningful to him. And just sitting in the pew next to him makes me happy, because being there makes him happy. Now, having said that, if my husband ever stood up on stage in front of me at a 10,000 person Turning Point USA revival and effectively said that I'm going to burn in hell because I have free will to find my way to the gospel, but I have chosen not to, let me tell you that would be the last conversation we would have. I would be so furious and humiliated to be made to look like some sort of lesser than apostate because unlike everybody else at that meeting, I have not found my way to Jesus. I am not as smart as all of them. That is basically what he is implying.
Yeah.
And it is so demeaning. That's what I wanted to really talk. I don't get listen.
Well, speaking of demeaning, this is how he speaks about her in public.
I think it's really, and I have to say, you know, I'm thrilled, of course, to have everybody here. Thrilled to have Paul hosting us, but I'm especially thrilled to have my lovely wife here behind me, and I think she's doing.
Oh, darn it! I sent the wrong one. I'll play it. Let me find it here because he speaks so horrible to her. He embarrasses her. I want to say she is an accomplished, as much as I don't like her and I don't feel bad for her at all. She is an accomplished attorney. She clerked for Brett Kavanaugh. I think she went to Yale Law School as well, right? Isn't that where they met?
Yeah, Yale Law School.
Right. And the way that he speaks about her is like, you know, like she's a simpleton who is a trad wife. Like he's trying to make her into this trad wife thing so badly because it's very clear that he met her as a young person, not knowing what was ahead of him in life. I think it probably had just met Peter Thiel, didn't have all of those business ventures with Peter Thiel ahead of him, didn't know what was going to happen, didn't know that Peter Thiel was eventually going to walk him into the office of the president of the United States, Donald Trump, who he hated. And he was going to become senator. Yeah. I mean, like he called him America's Hitler. I mean, like, come on. And I think, you know, JD Vance, the kid from, you know, Appalachia, who was confused about himself and the world, probably found comfort in Usha. And then opportunity knocked on his door, and he realized, as Gollum, the talented Mr. Ripley, Manchurian candidate, however you want to frame it.
Exactly
I mean, it's all of the above. I think he realized that Usha does not fit the mold for the people who have the ability to give him more power and more money. That is all he wants in life. He doesn't want to work for it. And the other thing about JD Vance that is not talked about nearly enough is, yes, he came from, you know, very, very like poor family from Appalachia. Okay. Went on to Yale Law School. Good for him. But from there, met Peter Thiel and was placed into situations. The first one, Peter Thiel said to his friend, hey, give this kid a job. Gives this kid a job. They eventually let him go because he doesn't do any work. He doesn't do anything. He's lazy. So Peter Thiel gives him more money and says, hey, start your own venture. Does it. It crashes and burns because he doesn't do anything. So then he's like, okay, well, what are we going to do now? Walks him into the office of Donald Trump and gives him $15 million to run a Senate campaign in Ohio. That is the largest single donation to a campaign PAC ever. He's running against, was it Tim Ryan? It was a very, very, very close margin. And it took $15 million to even make that happen because he's so horribly.
And Trump endorsed him. Remember, JD Vance was losing, and then Trump came in and saved the day with that endorsement.
Because there was what was his name? JP Mandel or something like that. And he was getting Judge Mandel, right? Because Donald Trump was on stage at a campaign event and was calling him JP Mandel or JD Mandel because he didn't even know what his name was. I mean, the whole thing is just crazy. So here's the clip in its entirety.
It's really simple. And I have to say, you know, I'm thrilled, of course, to have everybody here. Thrilled to have Paul hosting us, but I'm especially thrilled to have my lovely wife here behind me. And I think she's doing a great job as Second Lady of the United States, and I'm so proud to have her back by my side. And here's the thing, because the cameras are all on, anything that I say, no matter how crazy, Usha has to smile and laugh and celebrate it. So I'm going to be good though, honey. I'm going to keep to the script here. But I think that what we're really after,
like, if that doesn't say, here's the thing: JD Vance is not funny. He's not charming. He has no personality. He's not like off the cuff. Listen, even if Marco Rubio or some asshole like that got up on stage and said that, he's got a little bit of something, right? There's a little bit of soul. I mean, it may have left his body by now, but it might be like a ha 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 ha. This is not funny because this is how he actually thinks about women. This is what he thinks about his own wife. And listen, there are credible rumors swirling in DC right now. Credible rumors that she can't stand him. They don't spend any time together anymore.
He wants another baby.
He wants another baby so that he's the first
born. Yep.
Because he wants to be the first vice president to ever have a child while in office. That is a very credible rumor swirling around Washington, D.C. right now. And I say, so then let's bring it back here to Erika Kirk. And this was the poster for the Ole Miss event. And yes, maybe the hug when you watch it on the video seems harmless. But when you look at this, I just don't think it is. Again, signaling. She's signaling. These people know exactly what it is that they're doing. The hand in the hair, that's the part that I was like, what? If I'm hugging some man, especially a married man, okay, and I spent all the time in theater. And
by the way, because Usha was there.
Yeah, that's what she goes. This really good friend of mine and his wife, even the way that she talks about Usha is kind of just like, and his wife. And it was, and I say all this because I grew up in theater. I worked in theater for many, many years. Everybody's touching each other all the time, right? It's very touchy. But as a muggle out in the world, I'm very careful about how I interact with people. And if I'm hugging another man, I'm not putting my hand through his hair.
Yeah, the hair thing, I gotta be honest with you. I guess if you're looking
at it, it's weird.
The hair thing is weird. I'm actually a hugger, and I have
me too. And you do the little pat.
Yeah, you gotta do the pat. I don't even do the pat, but I like give somebody a hug. But but I gotta be honest with you. I just don't. I just don't. You don't do this. I don't understand.
And listen, again, nothing says I miss my dead husband like pyrotechnics and pleather pants. But it's just, I think everything about her is phony. It's the acting. It's the cadence of her voice. It's the way that she delivers these speeches. And listen, she competed in the Miss USA pageant, okay, which is, just to be clear, is not part of Miss America. This was a company that was owned by Donald Trump. And I think he owned the pageant at the time when she was doing it. At the same time, there is a picture of her and Lindsay Halligan. Is that her name? The insurance lawyer who's indicting everybody down in Virginia. I mean, it's just, the whole thing is just so crazy incestuous. And there's some very questionable stories about her doing religious missions in Europe that's just, that they got kicked. She and her mom got kicked out of the country. There's just, I'm just saying, I don't think that what we're seeing here is everything. There is so much going on, I think, below the surface. And this is just another piece of also Donald Trump's health. Donald Trump is not well. Donald Trump is physically and mentally unwell. And, one of my former coworkers who is very connected to a lot of people in Republican world wrote in his Substack saying that there is a small circle of people who know exactly what is going on with the president. And JD Vance is at the helm of it. And they are making moves behind closed doors because there's going to be a very small window of opportunity to fill the vacuum after Donald Trump is gone. And the way that they talk about it is he's not even going to make it the 4 years. And there's another reason why it's JD Vance, and they're trying to make him into something. Well, and I think that Erika Kirk is this missing piece for him.
I'm going to give her some grace. I'm going to give you the most graceful thing I can say about her. Just to be devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
She looks like she's on a lot of meds. And
So I thought that, but she said she's not. So anyways.
She's not on a lot of meds. Because I would be. Let me tell you something. If somebody shot my husband and killed
Oh
my
my
husband,
God, I'd be like
children,
zombie.
like I'd be a zombie. There's not enough Xanax in the world.
But she purposely in an interview after all this happened said they wanted to medicate me, blah blah blah, but I'm not doing it. I want to allow myself to feel everything.
Where are the kids? Because I gotta tell you, and I don't judge people or how they raise their children, but I gotta say, if I had young children the way she does, like really young children, and those bad being blown away.
Yeah, they weren't there, just to be clear. Like they weren't at the event with him, but I don't, depending on, I don't know how old they are, if they saw it on their phones or something.
I thought they were.
They were not there. They were not there.
All right, well, that's really good.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know if she's justifying this by saying we're carrying on daddy's work. That's why mommy has to be like doing this stuff as opposed to like home with you. I don't know. You know, I have a different way of raising my kid. Maybe my way is right. Maybe my way is wrong. I truly don't judge people for how they raise their children. I will simply say that if she's not medicated and that's how she is in real life, something's not there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Go back and watch her.
And I don't believe her, by the way. I don't believe for 1 second that she's not medicated.
Dear God, no. But I'm saying like, and I'm not doubting that she's mourning her husband. I mean, listen, the whole thing is traumatizing, as horrible as I think these people are, and I do think that they are. Yes, she is absolutely grieving her husband. It's a terrible thing that happened to her, like just objectively. But if you go back and watch her speak, go back, because she used to do panels with Charlie. And they would do this like, ha ha ha, back and forth thing about being a good wife and all this. This is how she is. It's how she speaks.
I'm more, you know what? I'm more disgusted, to be honest. I mean, whatever. She's performative. I'm going to give her grace because I would be really fucked up. Sorry, Dad, if that happened to me. So I wouldn't want people to judge me. I mean, I don't think you'd ever see me again if that happened to me. Like, I don't think I'd wake up the next day and go to some rally where people are.
This is the other thing about it.
But, you know what? But people deal with grief differently. So I'm not going to, like, I legitimately don't judge her for that. Everybody deals with grief differently. And I'm just saying what I would be doing. I would not be standing there with pyrotechnics going off in front of me and going like this and then going like this and God knows, like whatever. Like I would not be doing that.
To the music.
To the music. Like that would not be me. But you know what? People grieve differently. The one that I cannot stand, the one who humiliates his wife in front of her, it's like he like passive aggressively tweaks in front of her, is J.D. Vance. And I gotta say, I don't know what Usha signed up for. I suspect that she met this guy. They were both students at Yale.
I don't think she saw this coming.
I don't think she saw this coming. He basically admits she didn't see this coming because she didn't sign up for like some guy who goes to church every Sunday. But do I
just converted to Catholicism in 2019? But yeah,
I believe that J.D. Vance found Jesus. I do not. I believe that J.D. Vance found a pathway to the evangelicals and whatever Catholicism. Peter Thiel is a Catholic, and I think this is part of this whole.
He's not even. I mean, Peter Thiel again had ties to Opus Dei, but not like in a.
Well, there's listen. There's a reason
I know.
There's a reason why J.D. Vance chose the Catholic Church and not the evangelical church, right? I don't know what that is.
He's very obsessed with the Antichrist right now, which is a whole nother thing for another show.
Yeah, but it's fascinating that he chose to do this at a time when you had a liberal pope, and then now who's been succeeded by another liberal pope. It's not like he was called to the church because they're like right wingers, right?
Right.
You had a Jesuit pope when he converted, so something here is not adding up. But let me even put the cynicism aside there and say maybe J.D. Vance did discover Jesus and maybe the Catholic Church was the place for him. Fine. Like I'm giving these people every benefit, every lawyers would say, every inference I'm giving to them, right? Like she's mourning and that's why she's behaving the way she is. And Opus Dei.
I know. I was like, that's good. That makes it on screen.
So, I'm giving her every inference there. I'm giving him every inference that he found Jesus. What is unmistakably unacceptable is tweaking your wife in front of your wife and in front of an audience of thousands.
Yep.
Time and time and time again, when you know your wife can't storm off the stage or turn to you and say, you know what, fuck you.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what I would do if listen, again, Michelle, you and I have talked about this. Both you and I have wonderful relationships with our husbands, right? Like you actually texted me the other day, the sweetest thing in the world, where you were out with your husband and you said, I know you always say this about your husband, Julie, but aren't we so lucky in our respective marriages? And like we truly are. Like Michelle and I do not bitch about our husbands. Like I mean, you know, we are both,
but overall, I mean,
like overall, like we are both in really happy marriages. So I don't think that I have turned to my husband ever and have been like, you know what, fuck you. But I will tell you this: the reason I've never done that is because he does not have it in him to stand up at my husband's a trial lawyer. He speaks publicly for a living. Your husband's a lawyer, also, Michelle. Like my husband doesn't have it in him to stand up in front of a group of people, no matter how big or how small, and say, you know what, Julie comes with me to church all the time on Sundays, and I hope that one day that she's going to come to Jesus. But you know what? We all have free will. So if that bitch wants to go to hell, that's up to her. Like, not my problem. I'll be up in heaven looking down on her as she's burning in the depths of hell. Like, that's basically what he's saying. And she can't turn to him and say, you know what, JD, go fuck yourself.
Because he goes, and she has to stand there and just smile. Don't worry, sweetheart. I'm going to be good.
And Usha's standing there being like,
yeah.
And again, this is not a trad wife. This is not a woman who was raised to be trad wife. Raised to be a trad wife. Her family would have had an arranged marriage for her back in Uttar Pradesh, and she'd be shipped out there. But that's not what her family did. Her mother is not a trad wife. I'm sorry to go off on a tangent here. Her mother is not a trad wife. She's a brilliant, I think, microbiologist. Usha was not raised to be a trad wife. She was a brilliant lawyer by all accounts. She clerked for the wrong guy, but it doesn't matter. The point is that she was brilliant enough to have gotten to clerk for a Supreme Court justice.
Right.
And she was working at a major law firm, had a very successful career, and had 3 kids in the process, and still continued to have a successful career. And this asshole is sitting there humiliating her. And the reason I don't feel sorry for her is because, you know what, Usha, and again, not to butt into anybody else's marriage, I understand that you might not want to leave your husband because there are 3 little kids in the mix, and you don't necessarily, it's very, very, very hard to get divorced when there are 3 little kids. But you know what? Is there a daughter among these kids? Because this is not the lesson you should be teaching your daughter, to sit there and take that kind of verbal bullshit abuse from your husband.
And it's abuse.
And it's abuse.
And this is what he said about her on Megyn Kelly, just about her race. And then qualified her loveliness by the fact that she's a mother.
Wife so much. I love her because she's who she is. Obviously, she's not a white person, and we've been attacked by some white supremacists over that. But I love Usha. She's such a good mom. Look,
she's obviously not a white person, but she's such a good mom.
Saying that to Megyn, by the way, who of course has made a cottage industry out of race. So, like, of course, Megyn, you understand people like you might not like her because she's not white. Like, what in the actual fuck? And I'm sorry, I know I'm cursing a lot, but what in the, this is why I don't give a shit about Erika Kirk. I mean, God bless. I hope she gets through this horrible period in her life.
Yeah.
But why the JD Vance thing is so obviously she's not a white person. Yeah, obviously JD, and obviously you're not an Indian person. And I'm sure somewhere in Uttar Pradesh, her family
absolutely,
around like, holy shit, she married that. Right. And like, more importantly than that, her deeply educated parents are sitting around being like, she married that jerk off. Like, come on.
Right. Who's a fool.
And I think fool. And they know it. And they know it.
Yeah, he is a fool. He's very good at the talented Mr. Ripley thing, right? What did he do in the Marine Corps? He did PR. This is what he's good at. He can talk his way in circles around things. That's why he, poor Tim Walz in that VP debate. I mean, it was awful. He has a way of saying things that almost sounds normal, but then you're like, wait a second, that is not normal. You are a monster. And so, and Julie, I know we got to head out here. So, I do just want to play a video, and it's something that I put together with Seneca Project, just to, full transparency. I'm a co-founder of the Seneca Project. I'm the chief creative officer there. So has nothing to do with Mayday and what we're doing here. But I'd like to show this because it's a compilation of JD Vance being completely and utterly misogynistic, sexist asshole. And the thing is that Erika Kirk, for whatever's going on there, fits the mold of everything he needs to be the president of the United States in his mind and in the minds of others. And um and she submits to those ideals as well. She's happy to. But of course, the irony is that she's Phyllis Schlaflying all over the place, being the boss that she's telling other women that they shouldn't be. So we'll keep our eye on this story. I feel like there's gonna be more. I don't think this is going away.
You got me so riled up, Michelle, about this JD Vance bullshit and the way he's treating her. Usha, if by some miracle of God, you are at
She was a Hillary supporter. She was a Hillary supporter.
If it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're waking up and you're like, oh my God, let me go surf the internet and see what people are saying. You somehow stumble upon this and you're wondering what the hell became of your life. Girl, own who you are. You're not Melania. You're not Melania. You have real skills. Go use them. Go join a law firm. Go do pro bono stuff.
Yeah.
Stop with this
go
bullshit.
Back to Sidley or wherever it is that you were working,
and Austin or wherever you want to go work, and you tell JD Vance, you tell your husband that if he ever humiliates you like that one more time, you're not going to stand there up on stage and smile and wave. You're going to walk off, and he will have to explain, much like Donald Trump has to explain why his wife hates him. You will have to explain. He will have to explain why what he said was one time too many. That's it.
That's great. That's great. Because I'm going to tell you right now, this hug and all this, because there's already been all this divorce talk that's been kind of all over the internet. And then this hug thing happens. Okay. And there's two things happening. Usha is humiliated. She is humiliated. But JD Vance is having a great time. Not just because he's like, listen, do I think he has the hots for any woman? I don't know. Questionable. But this makes him look like the manosphere alpha. Look at this hot blonde woman touching my hair. It makes him look desirable. If there is a beautiful, smart, well-spoken woman who seems like she might be interested in him, it makes him seem more palatable for a person who is so terribly unlikable and punchable. So, and we have elected a president with credible rape and assault threats, and assaults, and you know, who's been married 3 times and has cheated on every wife with another one. So this is what the country has come to from the party of family values, who's the first to tell us how we should be living our lives, especially women, calling us childless cat ladies are, valueless in society. And so that's where I'm going to show this video called Mega MAGA Misogynist. Again, we made this last year during the election, right after Trump had announced JD Vance as his running mate. So I'm going to play us out with that. And with that said, Julie, any parting words?
Usha, you're better than this girl.
Yeah, don't put you in danger, girl.
You know what? You too can have a good marriage. Don't settle. And ladies, if anybody here is listening to us who's not yet married or who's in a bad marriage, don't settle. You don't have to settle. It is okay to be alone. It is okay to be a single mom. I have done it. It's really effing hard, but it's still better than being with the wrong guy. So I'm telling you right now, the right guy's out there for you, Usha. This guy ain't it. I don't care that he's the father of your kids or the vice president of the United States.
Yeah.
Nobody deserves to be humiliated in front of 10,000 people that way.
Hell no.
Nobody. Saw his body language, by the way, when she put her hand in his hair. If that happened with my husband, even if he loved it, even if he was like, whoa, some hot girls like had her hand in my hair, I think out of respect for me, his body language would be a little bit like not good. Just out of respect for me. No, maybe enjoyed it.
I don't know. I mean, he's terribly awkward and unattractive in my mind.
But, yes, because he's not a normal person. Because he's not a normal person. All right, let's play us out because I got to go. Bye, everybody.
Yep. Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow morning.
Bye.
Hold on. Why is it not playing? God damn it. All right. Maybe we're not playing me out. You know what? I'm just going to sit here for 1 second and I'm going to load this in the other way because it's too good. There it is. And I'm just going to tell everyone while we're sitting here that tune in here tomorrow at the Mayday Network for Coffee and Conversation at 10 Eastern in the morning. And please like and subscribe because it helps us immensely. And we'll see you all soon.
Vance, who is now effectively the political heir to the MAGA movement.
We're effectively run in this country by a bunch of childless cat ladies.
Roe versus Wade is an abomination.
There's something comparable between abortion and slavery.
When asked about the exception for rape, he said rape is inconvenient.
I asked Vance if he thought should include exceptions for rape or incest.
Look, I think two wrongs don't make a right.
Have you changed your stance?
Look, Martha, two wrongs don't make a right.
Look at the extraordinarily restrictive policies toward women that he has supported.
J.D. Vance of Ohio told me that Republicans should back a national 15-week abortion ban.
He said you want to ban abortion in Ohio and across this country. Is that true?
Look, I'm pro-life.
J.D. Vance claiming that women having the ability to leave violent and abusive marriages has harmed society.
One of the great tricks that I think the sexual revolution pulled is this idea that, like, well, okay, these marriages were fundamentally, they were maybe even violent, and so getting rid of them and making it easier for people to shift spouses like they change their underwear, that's going to make people happier in the long term.
You've got J.D. Vance in Ohio running for Senate, talking about childless women are the problem and are destroying the United States.
Cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too.